What if what you're calling depression isn't depression at all? What if the heaviness, the tiredness, the disconnection you're feeling is not a breakdown, but a breakthrough? You're not lazy. You're not broken. And no, you're not going crazy. You're awakening. That uncomfortable fog you're trapped in, where nothing excites you anymore, where old dreams feel lifeless, and even your favorite music doesn't hit the same. This is the spiritual storm before the inner calm. It's the moment your old self is dissolving. Not because you failed, but because you're evolving. Most people don't talk about this part of the spiritual awakening journey. It's not glamorous. There are no angel wings or glowing light shows. Just confusion, silence, and a kind of emotional flatline that makes you question everything. But this phase, this silence, is where your soul starts speaking louder. You're not falling apart. You're shedding layers. You're disconnecting from everything fake so you can reconnect to what's real. This isn't the end of your path. It's the beginning of your return. You've been living a life that doesn't match your inner truth, and your soul is exhausted. You smile when you don't mean it. You nod when you want to scream. You show up when you actually want to disappear. That's not depression. That's spiritual rebellion. Your inner self is done playing the role. The role of the pleaser, the overthinker, the perfectionist, the person who fits in but never feels truly seen. And now, every time you ignore your truth, your body and mind hit the brakes. You feel drained, empty, like you're walking through fog. That's your soul saying, no more lies. You're being asked to stop chasing things that don't feed you. It's like your spirit is holding a strike, refusing to give you energy until you realign with who you truly are. And here's the twist. The more you fight it, the worse you feel. But the moment you accept that you're not here to keep everyone comfortable, things begin to shift. You realize your tiredness isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's spiritual. It's years of ignoring yourself. This isn't sadness. It's recalibration. Your spirit is telling you, let's stop pretending. Let's start living. Look around. The things that once excited you don't anymore. That job feels like a cage. Those friendships feel one-sided. That relationship feels hollow. No, you're not ungrateful. You're becoming aware. You're waking up from the illusion that success, happiness, and peace come from outside approval. That's why everything feels like it's falling apart. It's not punishment, it's purification. You're shedding attachments that were never aligned with your true path. It's like cleaning out a cluttered room. At first, it's overwhelming. You don't know where to start. But as you throw things out, things you never actually needed, you start to see space, clarity, possibility. The same thing is happening inside you. That heaviness you're feeling, it's not depression. It's detox. Your energy is being pulled away from shallow pleasures and redirected towards something deeper. And that deeper thing isn't always immediately visible. That's why it feels like nothing makes sense. You're in between who you were and who you're becoming. But that discomfort, that emptiness, it's proof you're making room. Room for truth, for meaning, for alignment. This isn't emotional collapse. It's spiritual realignment. Suddenly, small things feel huge. A comment stings more. A conversation lingers in your head for days. Crowds drain you. Loud places irritate you. That's not weakness. That's awakening. You're not just growing more sensitive. You're developing spiritual awareness. The noise of the world used to blend into the background. Now, it's unbearable. Why? Because your inner frequency is rising. You're tuning into subtle energies, and that means you can no longer tolerate things that hurt your peace. And yes, it can feel overwhelming, like you're too raw for the world. But that's because the old version of you had thicker armor. Now, your heart is open, and open hearts feel more. But here's the beautiful part. What used to break you now teaches you. What used to trigger you now reveals you. You start to sense the difference between real and fake, between love and performance, between noise and truth. And with that awareness comes power. You no longer waste energy on the surface. You start craving depth in people, in conversations, in purpose. You're not falling apart emotionally. You're upgrading spiritually. You keep trying to be who you used to be, but it doesn't fit anymore. And that's not failure. That's growth. You're not meant to keep recycling the same version of yourself over and over. That version helped you survive. This new version wants you to thrive. But here's the tricky part. The world still treats you like the old you. People expect you to react the same, show up the same, agree with the same things. And when you don't, they get confused. Sometimes even angry. But that's not your job to fix. Your responsibility isn't to stay small to make others comfortable. Your responsibility is to honor your evolution. You're no longer the person who stayed silent just to keep the peace. You're no longer the person who ignored red flags just to avoid conflict. You're no longer the person who needed constant validation just to feel okay. That version of you did its job. It carried you this far. But now, it's time to release it. You don't owe the world consistency. You owe yourself authenticity. This isn't confusion. This is transformation. You're not losing your identity. You're returning to your essence. Everything that once felt secure is now shaky. Your plans aren't working. Your routines feel off. Even your goals don't excite you like they used to. That's not because you're lost. It's because you're stepping into a new dimension of awareness. And the scary part? There's no map. This is where most people panic. They try to go back to the old ways. They beg for clarity, for certainty, for a 5-step plan. But spiritual awakening doesn't come with instructions. It comes with silence. And in that silence, something incredible happens. You begin to discover a new kind of guidance. Not from books, not from gurus, from within. You realize that the same force that's unraveling your life is rebuilding it, but this time from truth, not fear. You begin to trust your intuition more. You stop over-explaining yourself. You start saying no without guilt. You find peace in pauses. You find meaning in solitude. You find strength in surrender. And slowly, the fear of the unknown fades, because the unknown becomes your ally. You stop chasing. You start attracting. You stop forcing. You start flowing. You stop begging life to make sense. And you start dancing with its mystery. You're not broken. You're becoming whole. If you've made it this far, it means something inside you already knows this is true. You've been carrying the weight of thinking something's wrong with you, when the truth is, you're waking up to who you truly are. And that kind of awakening? It's not neat. It's not easy. But it's real. You're not lazy. You're aligning. You're not depressed. You're detaching. You're not empty. You're expanding. This is your transformation in progress. So give yourself grace. Give yourself space. Because what's coming for you is worth every moment of confusion you're facing now. You're not alone on this path. And if this video helped you feel even a little bit seen, a little bit lighter, do me one favor. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know in the comments if this spoke to your soul. Thank you for watching till the very end. I see you. And I hope now you see yourself a little more clearly too.